Welcome to the Divine Style Podcast with Gerlinda, Stella, personal stylist and self-love coach, and Alison, Maiden, psychic medium, spiritual healer and metaphysical teacher. Each episode you'll experience spiritual lessons to cultivate self-love and self-expression so you can become the best version of you.
Hello, I'm Gerlinda.
And I'm Alison.
Today we are talking about the throat chakra. I'm super excited about this one because mine has been blocked quite often, quite frequently. Every time I seem to get a healing done, I seem to make someone choke up on my behalf. But this is really about self-expression and communication. And I think a lot of people struggle with this.
Oh, so many people. And look, especially now, I think, too, because, as we know, the world's going through massive changes and things are happening. And I think people are feeling deep down that they'd like to say something quite profound about the changes, but they feel that they're being blocked because they're not allowed to say it. And look, that's pretty much our society. And we've had, even from a young age, it's that children should be seen but not heard scenario. So if you've grown up in a scenario where you're not allowed to speak out, or perhaps, your parents were a little bit more forceful than some others, you'll find that, your throat chakra will continually block up throughout your adult life because you're just not telling your own truth.
And sometimes this can happen even unbeknownst to us when parents sort of just say shh, to their children or go away.
Yeah.
I mean, these days with phones as well, people are busy or they're working from home. And I mean, there's a lot of guilt that comes in from this as well. But being a mother myself, and my kids are like, you're not listening to me. I'm like, you don't listen to me either. So the same. But this chakra is located in the throat area.
Yes, right over the Adam's apple. It's blue, of course, and I do notice that you're wearing blue today. Actually,
I seem to do this every week. I'm matching the same, matching the chakra colours. I'm doing it unbeknownst.
Going with the vibes.
Yeah.
It is about your creative self-expression and communication, obviously, but it's also other things as well within us, like inspiration and wisdom, having confidence, truth, freedom, independence, integrity. As I said, all of those things that are at risk at the moment, and I think too that people are finding their voice more and more throughout these challenges that we've been having. So what can help unblock a throat chakra? Well, obviously speaking, telling your truth, okay? Even if it's to the wall or someone that's sympathetic, someone that can help. Find your vibe tribe, go out there and find other people that are like-minded, and then, you can speak your truth to them.
This could also be sort of writing as well, so journaling, expressing
Absolutely.
in that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes the cosmic letter, I used to write cosmic letters back in the day.
Oh, I haven't heard of a cosmic letter.
Oh, God, it's great. So what you do is you sit down and you write a letter to whoever or whatever the scenario is that's bothering you. And you get it all out on paper. And it's important to write because these days people type, they don't actually write. To write is the hand is connected up to the brain, obviously, and as you write, it's actually like downloading. If you're thinking of computers, for instance, you're going to download all the files onto a hard drive away from the main computer. Well, that's what you're virtually doing when you're writing out a letter. So you're downloading all that information onto that page, and so you're getting rid of it out of your brain.
And not necessarily something that you're going to send to anyone. It's more of a way of expressing. So you could, once you finish with it, I love writing out stuff and then just burning it and letting the universe take it back. I mean, but you can throw it down a river, or there's lots of ways you can.
Yeah, we don't want to pollute the earth.
True, actually, yeah, maybe not like that.
Perhaps burning is a good idea. Or you can just pop it away in a box, like whatever you want to do with it. I think sometimes it's good to do that because then once you've healed the situation, you can look back and go, oh, look at that. Look how far I've come. But it is important. That's why they say journaling's important as well, to get the information out of your brain and down on paper. If you're the type of person that can't stop thinking, if you're a bit anxious, if you go over and over and over things, actually writing things out is a massive help. And you can do that in blue.
Ooh.
Okay, so you can use a blue ink. You could use blue paper. So the vibration is there for the communication already. As you're looking at colour blue, your throat chakra will activate because, as we know, it's all about vibration. And when we're looking at the colours or wearing the colours, feeling the colours, you can actually open up those chakras more easily by doing that. The other thing, of course, is always, as we speak about the chakras, crystals. Crystals are a wonderful way of feeding the chakras vibration and bringing it back to balance. Some of my favourites are in this one because I absolutely adore aquamarine. It's one of my favourite stones.
It is a beautiful stone. It's so calming and peaceful. It's just beautiful.
It really is like the ocean. When you look at a very large piece of aquamarine, it's like looking through seawater because it's that gorgeous blend of the blue and the green together. When we were in the States it was 2 years ago now. Hasn't that gone fast? Amazing. There's this incredible museum over there, and it's they've got a lot of the gemstones on display there. And there was the biggest piece of aquamarine I've ever seen. It was massive. It was like the size of a big poster.
Wow.
And it was standing up on a shelf, and it was actually had a light behind it, and it looked literally like water flowing.
How beautiful.
It was just magnificent. And I think I stood there for like a good half an hour just looking at this and the colour, and I could feel my throat. I could actually feel everything open up just by standing there and looking at this incredible colour and feeling the vibration of this crystal. So aquamarine, one of the better ones for you. Of course, blue sapphire. Now, people don't know this, but sapphires come in lots of different colours.
They do. You can get yellow sapphires and
Pink
red
ones?
sapphires, pink, yes.
So blue is the best one, of course, for the throat chakra. Chalcedony, that's actually a beautiful light blue. Chalcedony is also very good for past life healings as well. So if your throat chakra is blocked due to perhaps an incident in a past life, I think I told you about one that I had my throat cut, which is pretty horrible to witness, but it was interesting in that life how I didn't have a voice, that I was actually a slave in that life. I wasn't allowed to talk freely or say anything about how I felt, and it ended up being in that life that they actually, cut my throat because I tried to escape. So, that those things can often come through for us in this life as being I'm restricted because I'm frightened that if I do the wrong thing, then something bad will happen to me.
And I do work with people that say that they don't like wearing things like turtlenecks or anything around their neck, like a scarf or things like that. So and obviously when we talk about witch trials and things like that, we all know that witches were hung.
Yeah.
So it's definitely some of these effects that you might be experiencing could be from a past life.
Yeah, and I worked with a lady years ago that, funny you should bring that up, because she could never wear anything around her neck, not even a necklace. And she had a problem with her voice box, and it was gradually, I suppose, becoming more and more hoarse as she got older, and to the point where when she was speaking, it didn't sound like a voice anymore. It just sounded like a breath sort of coming out. And she'd tried everything, and they couldn't help her, basically. They said it was just this genetic situation, but she didn't remember anyone else in her family having it. But there is apparently a genetic situation where your vocal cords can get a little bit hard, and so it causes this hoarseness. So anyway, we did a lot of work with her, but one of the lives that came up with her, which was really interesting, was that she was strangled. Right? So she had these hands around her neck in the past life, and as I was taking her through the healing of it, she had two very distinct red hand marks that came up on her neck. I kid you not.
That is so freaky.
It was like, talk about manifestation, and she was hyperventilating and she was getting really, really upset. But as we actually moved through the healing of it, and she was able to calm herself down, and we got rid of the problem basically for her, her voice started to come back.
Wow.
It did. It actually came back. It was never the full voice again, but she had a big improvement.
She might have had like a sexy husky voice
Well,
after
she
that.
actually did have a very sexy voice. But she was a lovely lady, and, I think there's absolute frustration of not being able to communicate as well, because once you lose your voice, well, that's, very frustrating. If you've ever had laryngitis, how frustrating it is that people can't understand you.
Yes, as a child, I used to get tonsillitis all the time, and this is one of those examples of when your throat chakra is blocked. They were very close to taking out my tonsils. I'm very lucky that I was able to not have that done. So I still have them.
That is a common trait for kids that aren't allowed to speak.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Not that I'm judging anyone's parenting here, but it does happen. Okay, so turquoise, one of the most beautiful stones. Please make sure you're buying real turquoise and not the fake
so many
stuff.
painted. You can tell straight away. You give it a little scratch and the paint comes off. It's not good.
There's blue howlite, and blue howlite is actually not turquoise. It's a white stone with grey veins going through it, but it's very smooth, and they dye that, so it's very porous, and when they put it in the blue dye, it really takes it up. So then it looks like turquoise, but it's not. Turquoise is actually not smooth at all unless it's been sort of treated for jewellery or, sanded back or whatever. But it's quite lumpy, and it comes in very, very vast colours, from light blues all the way to the dark blues, all the way through to greens as well. So to get a real piece of turquoise, you know it because you pay for it. It's quite expensive. Very much used in Egyptian jewellery. It was considered to be one of their sacred stones, but it's very powerful for the throat chakra. Now, we also talk about, the different herbs that might help as well to open things up. And if you're a fan of herbal teas, then you'll be very pleased to know that chamomile is fantastic for the throat.
Favourite.
Eucalyptus, cypress, sage. Not one of my favourites, but you can try that.
Probably
one.
not sage tea, but I do love sprinkling sage all over my vegetables. That's yummy.
Basil is a really great herb for cleansing. Magnificent. In fact, you can burn it.
Burning basil.
And it does clear the air. Benzoin, and of course, when we're actually looking at the essential oils as well, we've got in there the frankincense, the sage, the eucalyptus, and pretty much all of the herbs that we just mentioned will come in essential oils as well. So it's good to anoint them. Now, anointing means popping them on the actual chakra themselves. If you don't have any allergies and you don't have any contraindications, meaning that you're on medications that the herbs may interfere with, so you always have to make sure about that first. Go and ask the chemist or the pharmacist nearby, and they'll be able to tell you. But if you're all clear and you're good to go, then just anointing a little bit of oil on your throat chakra will definitely help open it up. So if you're having constant sore throats and you're always feeling a bit tight around that area, just pop a bit of eucalyptus on there, or frankincense is my favourite one. That's a really powerful one. So you can also use peppermint and rosewood. So those two are really great in combination as well. Pop it on a tissue, breathe it in. There's all sorts of different ways of doing it.
Beautiful. That's really nice. What about foods?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm trying to think of blue foods, blueberries.
Which are not really blue, are they?
They're not really blue. They're more purple. They might be more third eye.
Yeah, I mean, there's anything that vibrates to that letter G, which is the throat chakra letter. So we're talking about, the G on the piano keyboard, the frequency sound. And some foods, even though they are a different colour, like the blueberries and more purple, they may have actually have that frequency. I can't speak today. Put my teeth back in. So plums are a good one for the throat chakra.
Ah,
have a lot of plum jam.
Thought that. I do like plum jam. That's delicious.
Yeah, so they have a good frequency vibration there for the throat. But I tell you, it's not just your throat that gets affected by this area. Your thyroid, okay, is another one. Now, people have a lot of thyroid problems these days. I think it comes down to perhaps sometimes the pharmaceuticals interfering with the natural flow of things in the body. If you've been on, the pill for a long time, or if you've taken lots of hormone treatments, etc., that can interfere with your endocrine system. The thyroid actually regulates our weight as well. And there has been a few people, and myself included, gaining weight like there's no one's business, and there's no real rhyme or reason to it because we're not really doing anything different.
And I know you don't eat very much at all, so it's really it's a miracle.
It actually is,
that you keep weight on.
Yeah. So there's obviously things going on energetically as well in the universe right now, and I've been getting lots of different messages from people all over the world saying that, I've got a Buddha belly. First time in my life I've ever had a belly. So this is like, just go with it, guys. The body's changing. The energy is actually changing your molecular structure. So, yeah, we are going to go through a little bit of a transformation with the ascension, which is going to be wonderful. But you'll move into a light body sooner or later. So you're not going to be chubby forever. So make the most of it, maybe. Enjoy your chubbiness for now.
I think when it comes to this stuff as well, there's that part emotional element that we, hold things within our body, but there's also that chemical and external component and along with the external energies that are around us.
Do you know what's really interesting? And it's not just me. So whenever I kind of come up with my body is a barometer for everybody else, let me tell you. So I get it first and then everyone will start telling me about their stuff. And I'm like, I've already had that. So anyway, people have been also complaining that they can't eat certain foods anymore.
Yes, this is huge at the moment. I've heard so many people, things that people used to be able to eat that they can't eat anymore. I know myself, I've struggled a lot with different foods more recently than ever before.
So the vibration's definitely changing. So your body knows what it needs. So go with that. And obviously, within moderation, if it's something really naughty, like chocolate cake every day or something.
Yum.
But you do have to take care of yourself, eat healthily. But if a certain food that is normally healthy for you doesn't fit with you anymore, then, really listen to your body and maybe come off of it for a while. You can go back to it later on and try it. But I am very much a case of try it and see at the moment. I used to be able to eat buckwheat. I can't eat it anymore. So the sort of symptoms I get is tightness around my throat, which is really interesting. So it affects my endocrine system, and it'll actually give me lumps in my throat area where the lymph nodes are. So there's something going on there in the buckwheat that my body doesn't like. So I think sometimes we just have to go with that for the time being. If you are concerned, then see your doctor, go and have an immunologist look at you, etc. But I think a lot of this is vibrational. But I do think that, obviously there's definitely some people out there that have severe allergies. I'm one of them. I have to carry an EpiPen with me. So food is not always your friend. So again, be very careful. The throat chakra also will affect your upper airways. Now, this is a big one for people with things like asthma, who have had maybe lung damage as babies from having bronchiolitis, or one of my children has that actually. She contracted bronchiolitis as a very young baby. She was 6 weeks old. It did some damage to her lungs, and so she only found that out a few years ago when she was trying out for a job that was very, very strenuous, and she had to prove her fitness. Now, she'd been going to the gym for a while, but she actually pushed herself to a point where she couldn't breathe.
Wow.
When I was questioning her about this afterwards, and I said to her, about the job, and she said, you know what, there was a part of me that was frightened about the job, so it was a confidence thing as well. So it was just interesting how it was connected up to the throat chakra. So voice. Now, vibration of the voice is very important. Songs, people who sing.
Singing, okay. This is a good one to open up.
You really need to sing. I don't care if you can't sing a note or you don't think you can.
Do it in the shower, in the car.
Exactly. Where people can't hear you, get stuck into, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, whatever it might be that takes your fancy. Get those voices going, because it will definitely clear out. The airway is also opened up when you sing. So people who have asthma and those kind of conditions really should be singing regularly, because it's a form of exercise, okay, for your lungs. Now, your arms are also associated with the thyroid, and interestingly, all of the areas around the throat chakra. Now, people will say, well, how can that be? Because you have drainage systems that go through there called the lymph nodes. So if you tend to get swollen on the top of your arms, as lots of ladies tend to do when they swell up through, menstrual cycles or hormonal cycles, it's that your body's being overloaded with fluid, and estrogen can often impact on that. So if you are finding that your arms and your legs are getting a little bit fluidy, it is all through your endocrine system, and a lot of this will be due to that thyroid gland as well. So I would say go and get some checks done if you're having these problems. If it's just once a month, then obviously it's all connected up to that. But what's a really good way of moving fluid in your body? You should know this.
Massage.
Yes.
Yay. I love massages. They're the best.
Definitely. So get a massage. Lymphatic drainage massage is awesome, but moving. Moving is the key, guys, because the lymph system only moves when you move. And so you've got to move. This is like bouncing on a trampoline at home, going for a brisk walk, walking up a hill, which I attempted to do
yes,
twice last week, which ended badly for me.
You blamed your knees though. Let's be honest. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
my knees, my crazy knees.
But at least you still did it, and that's it. I mean, you push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. It is hard sometimes to just get up out of the chair. I mean, we've got stairs in our house, so we're going to go up and down the stairs, and even that is good movement. But I think getting outside is great.
Do you know, I've spoken to other people about this because I couldn't believe how I was very nimble for a lot of years. And as you know, I'm in my 50s now. And it just hit me all of a sudden about 12 months ago that all my joints just decided to pack up. And it was like, that's it, I'm out of here. I'm not playing this game anymore. But about 12 months ago, a lot of people started to get joint pain. And it's not just one joint that you'd expect if you were getting arthritis in a joint or something. You expect one of them to go, but not all of them at once,
yes.
So this was quite interesting. But both my knees, as you know, are a bit dodgy these days. And I do find it difficult to climb stairs and get back down them again. But then when I was in the rainforest, when we went on the retreat in the Daintree, they stopped hurting completely.
See, it is the energy.
It's the energy, and I'm sure it comes down to EMF and things like that are around us, because whenever I go into like a city or a very busy place, they'll start up again. So your body's kind of like reacting to the energetic levels around you. Well, mine certainly is anyway. So, yeah, I mean, all those things are wonderful for the throat chakra. And talking about just in energy terms, if you listen to some beautiful music, as we were talking about before, it was in the key of G. But if you just listen to music that really connects with your sentiment, where you want to sing that song, where you want to be able to get that energy out of you. Screaming's another good one.
Yes, that can be so healing.
Oh my God, I love it. Getting a pillow, scream into the pillow so you don't scare the neighbours, or go somewhere where no one can hear you. In the car's a good place.
Yeah, in the car is a good place, unless you're at traffic lights and someone's going, what on earth? Maybe you're playing Akadaka or something.
Well, you could cover it over with that maybe. But yeah, I just use those vocal cords. It's very, very important.
I think another one with this as well to remember is breathing. I find breathing is so important. I've just started reading a book actually called Breathe, and the gentleman talks about how often we breathe through our mouths instead of breathing through our nose, and how important, nasal breathing is to our whole system.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and I think singing is good because it actually teaches you how to breathe.
Yes, that's right. Well, the nose is also equipped with lots of little filtering systems as well, so we don't take in half the pollutants that we do just by opening our mouth.
Very true. Well, next up, we're going to do a meditation. So you can sit and relax and enjoy this beautiful throat chakra clearing.
Imagine you're standing on a beach. It's close to sunset. The sky is turning a beautiful blue-purple. As you look at the sea, you can feel blue energy pulsing around your throat. Breathe in the beautiful sea air, cleansing and calming you. Concentrate the blue energy around the throat chakra and breathe in the blue, feeling it move down the back of your throat and into the chakra. As it moves through the back of the chakra, you see the blue seawater visually washing away any negativity, old patterns, old mistrust. Wash all of the negative feelings out of the throat. See it washing through like a big torrent, taking with it all of the things that you wanted to say but couldn't. as the throat becomes perfectly clear and pristine, we're going to charge it with a soft blue. That beautiful royal blue, moving in through the front of the chakra and swirling around, leaving it open and charged. Think about all of those things that bring you joy. Think about telling people how much you love them. Think about all of the things you feel confident with, that you're good at. Think about what brings you to your truth, your purpose. Allow all of these wonderful thoughts to enter the throat chakra and see yourself talking about all these wonderful things and communicating your needs easily and openly. Your throat chakra is now charged and clear.
Thanks for listening to the Divine Style Podcast. Please follow, share, and tune in weekly for more spiritual and self-love guidance. You can find out more and ask questions at gerlinda.com.au and alisonmaiden.com.